First, we have to go back to June 2021, when this little studio called Pocket Bear released a trailer for their sophomore game called Palworld. At first look, it seems like a Pokemon ripoff. We are presented with a world full of plains and mountains behind the score, which is rather similar to what Pokemon use in their games and trailers. Even the way the trailer is shot feels reminiscent of Pokemon games. And to top it all off, the game's primary focus is on these animals and monsters that possess different elemental powers. Just by this description, it would be hard to say if I'm talking about this game or a game from the Pokemon franchise. Some of the monsters in the game are even eerily similar to different Pokemon. But as we delve deeper into this first trailer, we see that this game offers something that the Pokemon franchise would never dare to do. Guns. The latter half of the trailer showed us armored weapons used in combat, launchers used to destroy buildings, and ships used as shields. It looks fucking amazing. But because of the first main focus of the game being those supernatural animals, people and journalists have labeled this game since the trailer has come out in June 2021 as Pokemon with guns. Fast forward 2.5 years later, a couple more trailers and gameplay spotlights, and now Palworld was released for everyone to purchase and play on the 19th of January 2024. This game quickly skyrocketed at the top of Steam charts, having concurrently at a point over
2 million players,
breaking almost the world record for concurrent players in Steam history. I gotta be honest, the first time I heard about Palworld was about 2 months ago in a TikTok ad. At first sight, I thought the same as the initial bunch of people, that's just a violent version of Pokemon, and then I quite forgot about it. I saw it was getting released maybe a couple of days before it happened, and I thought nothing of it. Maybe I was going to buy it, even though I'm quite skeptical of buying new games, since my PC is the electrical equivalent of a potato, so that was that. But then I woke up one morning and my TikTok, my Twitter, every feed was basically filled with Palworld shit. And a couple of days later, the official Pokemon company made a statement regarding the fans beloved Palworld. It states the following: "We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to Pokemon. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon in this world and work to bring the world together through Pokemon in the future." Yapping session. Basically, Nintendo is pretty much fuming at the fact that Palworld is such a successful game, and huge props to them for making this game. It looks amazing, and the fact that it's gotten so huge already is so great for everyone who does like Nintendo and considers them a soulless company. So basically a lot of people. I've seen so many memes and shit about this feud, and I think it's the perfect lesson for Nintendo. I don't think they'll take it since they are so stubborn, but it's literally the best thing that could happen to them. Maybe now they'll realize if they put actual effort into their games and drop Game Freak for a studio that cares more about quality and does not deliver stuff like this, because being the largest video game franchise in the world, and by quite margin, and delivering shit like this in today's day and age when other people make games which look like this, is fucking embarrassing. On the more legal side of the matter, we got an interview between IGN and Peter Lewin, a video game lawyer at Wigan, which is an IP law firm. He said that this situation's outcome also depends on which country Nintendo pursues its legal action in, given the differences in IP laws across the globe. Like, for example, the US has a notoriously permissive fair use defense, so that would be a factor as well. He follows it up by saying this, and I quote: "On the first point, it's worth noting that ideas generally aren't protected by copyright, but a particular expression of an idea can be. So one company can stop another from making a game about catching and battling monsters. However, if a company copies important aspects of how exactly another company expresses that game concept, characters, story beats, names, etc., that's where issues can arise. In this instance, the main focus seems to be on the poly designs and 3D models, rather than the game concept as a whole. I'm not sure if anything will happen. As previously stated by Mr. Lewin, you can copyright the action of catching supernatural monsters. I see the similarities between the two, but they stop quite quickly once you see actual footage of the games and realize there are massive differences between the two. The thing is, the Achilles heel which Nintendo will probably try to attack is the models. There are some PAL models which are a little too similar to Pokemon models, like this one, or a couple more of these. This whole feud only started because people started calling it Pokemon guns, and journalists ate that shit up immediately, and now it's gotten pretty bad. IGN also got a couple of words in from Sam Castry, who is also a lawyer, but also an avid Pokemon player, so he's 50% just like the rest of us. The lawyer side, of course. He said, and I quote, "So it's not enough to have a fire elemental dragon in the game. That dragon would need to closely mimic Charizard's design or be described with an amalgamation of the various Pokédex entries or something like that." So he challenges the idea of model similarities even more. A very sad instance, which should not have happened under any circumstances, is the developers from Pocket Bear receiving death threats. That's such an immature and brain-dead thing to do. I don't care how involved you are in shit like this, it's a fucking video game for fuck's sake. If you, a Pokemon fan, is upset that this game is getting more attention and recognition than your beloved Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so upset to the point that you're sending death threats to the developers, then your parents should have used a condom. Go outside and touch the fucking grass if you consider this an issue so big that it's normal to send death threats over. Jesus Christ. There was one funny instance though, something to lighten the mood a bit. Someone made this mod for Palworld, which replaces a ton of creatures with the actual Pokemon, And like the very next day after announcing the mod that he's making, he tweeted, "Nintendo has come for me. Please leave me in your thoughts and prayers." Like, of course they had to do that. So such a fun concept, and of course Nintendo had to come after it. It's fucking Pokemon Brick Bronze all over again. I've seen a TikTok regarding that this morning and I felt shivers down my spine. They took the best Pokemon game from us. I'm never forgiving them for that. Like and subscribe if you miss Pokemon Brick Bronze. Bye.